Hey everybody, how's it going? This is basically Broke Reviews coming at you after, well, another long hiatus. And what's the reason I'm finally poking my head out and making a video? Well, I've been collecting for more than 20 years, as I've said in some of my other videos, and I finally add something to my collection that's, well, frankly, I guess a long time coming. I bought uh, the first custom painted Transformer that I've ever owned. Um, I got this today at a flea market for $100. Which honestly, considering what figure it is, which is already a fantastic base figure, Combiner Wars Ultra Magnus, I think it's a great figure overall. Combined with obviously the really extensive paint job that they did, definitely worth the cash, I would say. Very much worth the $100 that I paid. I thought that was a very reasonable cost, and I could not pass it up. And so, of course, the first thing we're going to do is we're just going to kind of do a really quick comparison of vehicle mode with, of course, the original. And Minimus Ambus's arm just fell off, but that's all right. But we actually no, we'll start with Minimus himself, because as you can see, there is actually a tiny amount of custom paint on him visible in vehicular mode, and that, of course, is the fin up there. Other than that, there's no more custom paint work done in Minimus's vehicle mode. But when we transform Minimus, you'll see the custom paint. There is some in robot mode, but there you go, vehicle modes between the two. But those are just sideshow. Obviously, we're going to get into the main attraction here, and as you can see, very extensive repaint of this. Almost everything is custom painted on the custom. It's really extensive paint work, very impressive. One thing I'm going to show you guys here real quick, bear with me here, I'm going to zoom way in. So zoomed in here, you can tell even on the cab, he did some custom paint work here. Didn't even have to, didn't dramatically change it, but as you can see on the whites, he even did work on the whites. So that is very extensive work, to put it mildly. So obviously what I'm going to do real quick, folks, is I'm going to pause this thing, kind of get the classic version out of the way, and we're only going to talk about the custom. So see you guys in just a moment. Alright, folks, it is time to take a really extensive look at this guy in a vehicle mode. But before we do that, let's compare the Minimus Ambus's Mini Ambi in robot mode. And as you can see, he even did really detailed work on Minimus, which is very appreciated because, let's face it, we're never really going to see this guy very much. He's going to be living in Magnus's chest, but still, compared to the original, still very much appreciated. The extra detailing added, and really does make the little guy look a lot better. So there you go. Now, forgive the slight mistransformation on this, but since this is a custom piece, you really shouldn't be transforming these very much at all. Even less so than you would a masterpiece. And the reason for that is once these are painted, I almost say they're not even really quote unquote, they're technically toys, but I would say this level of customization is more a piece of art. At this point, yes, it's still technically functional, and obviously it will transform, hence this. But the reason I didn't completely transform it is, truthfully, I know I've already done some paint damage transforming it once, and I don't want to replicate any more damage, so I'm only going to transform this back to robot mode, then I will literally never transform this again. And so yeah, after he's back in robot mode, he's staying there. He's never coming back to vehicle mode again. So part of the reason for me to record this, honestly, is just for me to kind of remember what he looks like in vehicle mode. And I have to say, looks absolutely fantastic. As you can see, he paid a lot of attention here to detail. I mean, look at those. Look at the fine work there on the wheels, taillights, bumper. I mean, he really did go all out. I don't know who the person who painted this is, so I can't give proper credit. I can tell you, I purchased it today at Treasure Isle Flea Market in Monroe, which is near Cincinnati, Ohio. And I believe the vendor I bought this from is called Matt's Toy Chest. It's basically the biggest vendor in aisle 6. They've been there for quite a while, and I usually get something. This is definitely the most expensive item I've ever yet to purchase from that vendor, but I think he's very reasonable for what he charges for the products that he carries. So if you ever go to that flea market and you're into this stuff, definitely check it out. You will probably find something that you're looking for, undoubtedly. But yeah, I mean, he did absolutely all sorts of fantastic detail work all over the place. Now, this was missing one piece. It only came with this weapon rather than 2 guns like the traditional one comes with, but I just wanted to show off, obviously, what a weapon would look like on him. But yeah, tons and tons of intricate detail work. Really appreciate it. Did a nice wash on everything. It just looks, really, really, really good in vehicle mode as well. Now, when I transformed it, you can see that I scuffed the paint a little bit, and that's what I was talking about. Transforming it back and forth, a painted figure like this, custom painted figure, really bad idea. But yeah, that is basically it for vehicle mode. Obviously, I'm going to pause real quick. We'll get this guy into robot mode, and we'll finish up. So see you in a bit. All right, folks, we got this guy into robot mode, and we're just going to do just a few quick robot mode comparisons to, start off with. And clearly, I've got the Siege Ultra Magnus here next to him, just showing, a, quote, modern leader class interpretation of him. And, yeah, you can really tell that with Siege, they really started to try to go the mini masterpiece route, in my opinion. Because as fantastic as this guy is, I wouldn't really consider him, quote, masterpiece style. He's an awesome, alternate take on Ultra Magnus. Fantastic, but I wouldn't call him a mini masterpiece. But with Siege, we were really starting to go that direction, very much so. And I do think these two guys look great together. If you have, an Ultra Magnus collection, putting these guys next to each other, I think would work out just great. But yeah, here was just a quick one. With Siege Magnus. Obviously, the size is not even close, but anyway. So we'll get him out of the way. And just for funsies, we're going to go ahead and grab Kingdom Ultra Magnus, right? Because he's obviously much closer to, the G1 that we're used to. I mean, I like all of these figures a lot. For different reasons. Articulation, though, is probably honestly best on the Combiner Wars ones. It's pretty good on Siege and Earthrise, but I'd just say it's just slightly better with the Combiner Wars. Maybe it's about the same. I do like the thing that I find the most superior about the Combiner Wars over these other two are the proportion of the arms. His arms are a lot longer. I think they are just a little bit stubby on the Earthrise one. The only other real thing I don't care for on these figures, at least their robot modes, their vehicle modes aren't very good, but my issue with the robot mode of these is, the feet obviously can't be completely straight due to the design. Other than that, though, I would say they're robot, except for the arm length issue and the feet issue, I'd say these are absolutely fantastic robots, but they're not the main point of this. So, one more comparison, and I think you guys know exactly which one that's going to be. And, of course, is the standard Combiner Wars Ultra Magnus next to him. And as you can see, I mean, they look really like almost two obviously, it's the same mold, but they look almost like two entirely different toys. At this point, you can see there is so much more added detail on the repaint. They're not really comparable, obviously. So I feel the $100 that I paid for this, truthfully, is a great value considering just how much of a visual upgrade this is. So let's go ahead and get the Combiner Wars one out of the way. And we are going to just obviously focus only on this guy here now and really take a look, really close look at the details on him. They are just, let's go ahead and zoom in here. Really fantastic. The paintwork is pretty good. Up close, you can obviously see the imperfections, but just from like a normal viewing distance, I mean, you can tell it just looks amazing, you know, from any remote, you know, normal viewing distance. He looks absolutely, in my opinion, fantastic. All this custom paint, it just looks superb. In my opinion, you know, he even painted this touch here. Definitely not necessary, but it's appreciated. All of this extra work that went into this guy, because he painted spots, honestly, that, you know, really don't matter that much. Wouldn't have mattered very much in this, but he went ahead and took pride in his work and painted these anyway. So I personally think it's absolutely fantastic. He does retain all of his articulation, but of course you need to be a bit careful with him since he is painted. This is not going to be like an action figure you're going to want to bash around, obviously. This is, again, more like a piece of art than a toy at this point. So, but yeah, I mean, you just got to be careful with his joints. He still bends all the way down there. He has the same foot articulation. I just got to pop him out. He's got the rotation there, top, and then, of course, universal joints there, all the way around. Doesn't have any sort of waist rotation due to transformation. And, of course, his arms can articulate out like that. His hands got the articulation. And, obviously, goes all the way around. And his head, you know, can look around a bit. So, yeah, let me go ahead and grab the weapons I'm actually going to use with this guy. Because I'm going to give him 2 guns instead of just 1. Because my regular Combiner Wars Magnus is going to get transformed to vehicle mode and probably stay there. Be a transport for some deluxe cars, which is absolutely fine. Let's give him gun number 1, and let's give him a second gun here. Arm this guy up. All right. And let's see if we can give him a decent pose here. Now, yeah, as anyone who owns this mold knows, he'll tend to drop his guns if you move his arm even around a bit. Not the most. That's a design flaw of the figure. It has nothing to do with this custom, obviously. But yeah, obviously we can still get him into a decent pose pretty easily, and he looks absolutely fantastic. Now, should you get a custom piece or not for your collection? Would I say it's worth it? For me personally, yes, this absolutely was worth it 100% to have. You know, basically a completely one of a this is one of a kind, right? There's not going to be any more of these, and for such a, and it was based on such an absolutely fantastic base figure. I still think Combiner Wars Ultra Magnus is amazing, right? I can't find anything to complain about with him. He is a fabulous figure. And just to base it off of an already great figure and make it look like this, I'd say $100 was a bargain, considering the value that I'm getting out of this. Overall, absolutely fantastic, and I will definitely keep this piece probably, you know, more or less forever. The only way I would sell it probably is if financially I really had to. Other than that, I'm keeping this piece for the long haul, that is for sure. Yeah, because quote-unquote better versions of Ultra Magnus have come out, but nothing, obviously I don't have one painted like this in any, even the Masterpiece one I have isn't painted like this. So this is absolutely fabulous and fantastic, and I would say if you're a collector and you've been collecting for a long time, and you can afford it, you know, if you get lucky like I did and find an affordable one, I'd say it's absolutely worth your while to, you know, pick up a custom. Just don't expect to treat it, you know, like a standard action figure where you can, you know, be a little more rough on it and not suffer any damage, because if you're rough on this, I guarantee you're going to be hating yourself. So anyway, that is pretty much it. I hope you guys liked this. Now, I am going to link in the video description below kind of my promo video I did for this on, quote, my main channel. So if you want to check that out, go for it. And my main channel is quite a bit different from this one. I talk a lot more. I don't really do toy reviews on it per se. But it has definitely been my main channel, and I'm much more active on it than I am on this channel. And you will find out what the basically how my collection will transform when you watch that video. Like I said, once I come back, my collection is going to be entirely different. It's going to be absolutely amazing when I come back. So I can't wait. I'm really super excited about it, guys. I'm doing a huge project, and all will be revealed on my other channel if you want to know. So anyway, that's pretty much it. Hope you guys like this. Do all the things. I'll see you guys at some point.